I think they're lovely girls, they're great, they're really talented, and like, I wish them all the best in the world.
I'm off down to the pub, I get a phone call going, look, can you go back in the studio? Dave's got a song for you with Greg Kirsten, give it a listen. If you like it, put a vocal down and like that, and maybe see if it goes on the album. Anyway, so I listened to it, I had to sat going to the pub, went in, whacked the vocal down, sent it back to him, he sent it back with a few notes and that, and there we have it. And then I've done a festival for them a couple of years ago, they have their own festival. So we've done that, and then obviously I'm through Greg and that. But there's Foo Fighters a top band. Dave Grohl knows how to write songs, man.
I do like them, man. I think Foo Fighters have got good tunes, man. I think they've always been consistent, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I like them, man. I think Dave Grohl's very talented, and so is the band. Taylor, he's mad than that, but I think they're a good band, man. I like he's got some beatly bits, man, Dave Grohl. I like it, man. Yeah.
Right, so I mean, I've met him a few times, obviously, and we've had a couple of drinks and stuff and hung out and stuff, but never really, like, I wouldn't say I was his best mate or nowhere near one of his closest mates and that, but we'd always have a bit of banter and that, and like hang out and that. He'd always send me texts in the middle of the night, and I'd send him stuff, and you know, a little bit tipsy and that. But he like, and I've got him on my phone and that. Like, he used to always like really call me and that, going, "Oh, you're the greatest." I'm like, "I know," and all that. You know, like we've got to do gigs and stuff. And then I think the last one was he was in the back of a motor with, I think it was a guitarist. They were out that way. Wherever when it happened, and that, just going, "Oh, we've got to do gigs, you know, you're amazing," and all that. So I was at home pottering around the house, tidying up and stuff. And then I got up the next day and I heard the news. I was like, what on the Sky News? I went, and I ran up to Debbie. I went, "Yeah, you got to come and check this out. I'm seeing things," and then it had happened. But sad, man. I'm the one of them kind of people, like, look, you got to celebrate, but obviously it's there to be celebrated. And obviously I'm not his family, and I'd be emotional for his family, I'd be emotional for everyone else. But in times like that, you've just got to go big, haven't you, man? Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to dedicate this last song to the one and only Taylor Hawkins.
I seen Iggy Pop recently, and he blew my mind. Unbelievable. He had like a brass section. Drummer, bass, they were loud, man. And they had this little two-piece like trumpet dude. It sounded like Elvis. Mind-blowing. For me, I'd have Sam Fender. Yeah, I don't know much about it. I've done a gig and all that tackle, but you know, he's got a guitar and he writes his tunes and all that, and it seems to be, people are digging it. You know what I mean? He's more where I'm at.
I don't know, man. Voice. I mean, where I was at the time, growing up, and my family. You know what I mean? That's it, man. I just got sucked in by the Beatles, and then got more sucked in by him, more than George Harrison, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was his voice, I guess. Yeah, so that was it. His voice was beautiful, and it was angry and all that. That was good. McCartney now, but as I get older and like you mellow out a bit, you sort of sit there and go, you know what? Actually, I mean, even though you knew that he wrote great songs and that, you sort of, you know, there's a lot of more respect for him because he's still here, still doing it. You know what I mean? So, it's all right. They don't do it for me that much. They're not rock and roll enough, man. You know, they're all right. They live all round the corner from me, so I don't say too much. They come round and, you know, give me a paper cut or something.
And then I was like, "Oh, you sound good, man. I take back everything I've said about you. You sound really good." Yeah, I don't mind. Listen, man, they're all right, man. Chris is cool, man. They're all good.
Yeah, I love the Beatles, you know, what can I say? I'm not going to hide it. I love them. They make me happy. They make me, you know. And I think they're the best and still are. And I think to learn, if you're going to be as good, you've got to learn from the best, and they're the best. But it's his voice. I like his voice. He's got a good voice. Yeah, and there's a bit of pain in there, you know what I mean? You know the guy's done a day's work. And that's it. He just bends my head completely. And personally, you know, he's the alphabet to me, you know what I mean? It's a language, you know what I mean? You know, it's like the reason why I put a foot forward and a foot back. It's why I take a left and I take a right. And that is it, you know what I mean? And his music's good. It's all right. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to find, you know, what it is, you know. He's not just a musician to me. He's like the big brother, you know what I mean? He was the ultimate rock and roll star. He went, you know, back the other way, you know what I mean? And I love that geeky look, you know what I mean? Like, everyone goes about Keith Richards being the ultimate rock and roll star because he looked sweaty and he had, like, this punky haircut and, like, he played guitar. It's easy to get a slap off Keith Richards, you know what I mean? But imagine getting a bigger slap off John Lennon with a guy in a white suit and plimsolls, you know what I mean? And a pair of round glasses, man. I'd take a slap off Keith Richards any day.
No, but I like him, man. I think he's a talented young man. I just think he's more, you know, I know he's got to do his thing and that for the girls and that, but I like him when he plays his guitar. He's pretty talented, man.
Full song I've ever heard from a band, it's got to be the Sex Pistols. Anything off, never mind the bollocks, will do me.
I mean, you consider in the day and age of all this technology that they're going on, they were doing it, it was pretty simple, man. And it's still the aggression and the passion is that no one's touched that record. I think he's alright. I think he's obviously talented, you know what I mean? But I certainly wouldn't put a poster of him up on my wall, you know what I mean? If I was a young kid, you know what I mean?
The youngest kid, Gene, he's sort of a big fan of Skepta and all that stuff. I've heard a few tunes. It's all about everything good comes from the street, man. So I like the look of that Skepta, man. It's like an odd cat. I've seen a couple of videos with him. He looks cool, man. A lot of chat. I like it.
Oh yeah, bumped into it. Oh yeah. I got to say it, man. You know, and I'm asked what people. You know, you should never judge a book by the cover and all that. He's a nice lad, man. And I heard some of his records. He was in Rack. Right. I heard some of his new songs, and I think he's talented, man. I like him. He's a good lad. So we went out. He lives near the Spaniards. So we went for a Sunday roast, and he said, "Look, can I join you?" I went, "Come on, yeah, come on." I mean, he doesn't drink. He should drink a lot more. He had one drink. We got absolutely solid. I think we frightened him off. I haven't seen him since. But he's a nice lad, man. He's a good lad, man. I like him. He's cool and he's not giddy. Right. You think he's, you know what I mean? I thought he'd be a lot more impressed with hanging out with me, and he wasn't, you know what I mean? Which I kind of liked, you know what I mean? I was thinking he should be, you know, at least, you know what I mean? Exactly. And he sort of, you know, maybe he was holding it down, you know what I mean? He was kind of just, he wasn't giddy, and I like that. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. The first time music actually stuck in my head, it was like I was going out with a girl at the time, I was about 14 or something, and she was into Madonna, and she was liking the Madonna songs and all that, so I can remember getting hit on the head with a hammer and that kind of, she was playing it all the time, and I was going, actually, this is not a bad tune. I don't know, I haven't read much about it, but I know he's always in trouble, isn't he, something? I mean, he's always been like that though, hasn't he, you know what I mean? He's always been a bit, but you know what, listen, if that's what he's into and that's what he believes, then that's what he believes, whether he's right or wrong. I haven't heard what he said in that, but I don't get into the politics side of things. I've got enough trouble. I've got enough stuff going on in my world. I don't need to be, you know, going on about Brexit or Boris Johnson, whatever his name is, or the other lot, or Trump and all that. They're all idiots. Bleep that out. In fact, don't bleep that out.
I've met him a few times. He's been an absolute gentleman, and like, he took us out for dinner one night with his wife Peggy and that. Yeah, because we try to do the same. We try to like keep the same thing, keep the same flame alight. You know what I mean? But no, I love Neil Young. He's great.
Used to listen to him all the time when we was growing up, smoking weed and listening to, you know, and having the magic mushrooms and just putting them on. It was mega. I love it. My favourite film is Quadrophenia, so it's perfect. He played for 2.5 hours, which is amazing. Oh, God. Because like, they're like 75 years of age, and I mean, I could never do that for 2.5 hours. So respect. I don't think I could. 2.5 hours is for me. I don't think. Listen, respect to them and each to their own and all that. No, but for me, an hour and a half at the max.
Tickets were a bit pricey, so I've been asked to play with him, went out and saved myself 500 quid. Worked a treat. I mean, obviously enjoy it, you know what I mean? And like, they're still good and that, and they've got great tunes. And doesn't matter whether, you know, as long as people want to come and see him, they'll do it forever. And I hope to be doing that for as long as I can, you know what I mean? Once I've got my hip replacement. But no, you know, they're obviously a mega band, and obviously like they're the first ones that kick the doors open, so they should be treated with massive respect. So I was there with my kids, so I was just going, look, check this out. If it wasn't for them and the likes of the Beatles and the Who, there'd be none of this, man, really, you know what I mean? And especially the shenanigans you can get up to. It's not just all about the music. They had a good time as well, you know? I'd say my favourite album has got to be the Stone Roses album, the debut. That meant a lot to me. That was a big thing for me, man. Ian Brown and you know, when I first went to see them at International 1, I think it was. Or was it International 2? I think it was International 2. That blew my head off, and obviously that's where I got the bug for being in a band and that. So I'd definitely say the Stone Roses, man, some absolute classics, even to this day, you know what I mean? You put it on and it's aged well, you know what I mean? And my favourite songs off that album would be I Want to Be Adored and I Am the Resurrection. Around about that time in Manchester, there was obviously, it was like 89, 90 and that, you know what I mean? A lot, I don't know, they sort of just dressed like us, you know what I mean? Like a lot of my mates in the park and that, we all kind of dressed the same. So that was kind of, it was like, it was like looking in the mirror, you know what I mean? So that's what I got from them. Obviously, their attitude, their confidence. Ringo come to see us once. That's right, all right. Ringo come to see us in Hammersmith for Apollo because Zach was in the band. And I couldn't handle it. He'd come backstage. And it was the time when everyone was giving them bands out, you know, like, when everyone was writing them bands. And he'd give me one of them and I had to leg it out of the room. I was going, look, and he went, where are you going? I said, I can't handle you, man. Just got to get off. Give us a shout. I was like, give me a shout when he's gone. Can't handle it. It's too big, man. You know what I mean? I can't handle it. You know what I mean? So